Who caught that boy? Distress that boy. Who caught that boy, I'm here?
What you got on that plate that's hot smoking like that?
Seen that man with Young Boy before that shit happened with V-Roy, you see what I'm saying? It's like he using that nigga like as a face card to be around him, like to make them look a little tough, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I look at it, but I ain't really like.
So if it was
it ain't much I can say because I'm still I'm working on my way up and shit, you see what I'm saying? I ain't,
for sure.
If my time gonna come, it's whatever, but it's just that shit, like that specific shit like that.
After King Von got dropped in that lobby mess, the OBlock and YNS circles never stopped spinning the block, like the lesson never hit home. Lul Tim's back online, stirring up chaos again, poking that same hornet's nest that almost burned down the whole scene. It's been 5 long years, but this energy feels like it's seconds away from exploding all over again. We're stepping straight into that street pressure that's got the whole hip-hop world holding its breath. Before we dive deep into this madness,
Tim, because do you understand the whole situation or what?
I understand, but it's like, all right, you did what you did, okay.
Because
cool.
I heard, not to cut you off, but I heard a lot of people from y'all side getting that, some people saying he did with like...
But he'll do what any street nigga will do if a nigga, he gotta defend his people, but it's like, all right, you did what you did, that's cool, all right, boom, the police was involved, you got off, bro. It ain't like you did some street shit and like...
hit that like button hard. Every click keeps this channel running strong and pushing more real talk your way. Now, to understand how things got this tense again, we gotta rewind the clock to November 6th, 2020, the night King Von tragically lost his life outside that Atlanta hookah lounge. Lul Tim, rolling with Quando Rondo, was the one who pulled the trigger, claiming self-defense. The courts bought that story, and the charges vanished. But the streets, they don't play by courtroom rules, and they never forget. For 5 years, that pressure's been simmering low, quiet but deadly. Nothing stays silent forever though, and lately, the smoke's rising again. NBA YoungBoy's been sliding slick shots at OBlock in his tracks, keeping the disrespect alive. Lul Tim been moving around with YB like he got an invisible shield, while OBlock been staying low-key, handling moves off camera, keeping it all business behind closed doors. But this week, everything flipped upside down. That calm energy, gone. The whole situation just turned flaming hot, and the streets are buzzing heavy. See, King Von wasn't just some artist trying to make it out the mud. He was OBlock royalty. The whole hood rode for him. He came up under Chief Keef's shadow, but stood on his own, carrying himself like he was built for that world. He didn't need validation. His name spoke for itself, and that's exactly why his story still shakes the culture today. While Chief Keef turned drill music into a worldwide movement, King Von stayed tied to the streets in a way most rappers only pretend to be.
It's just left in the streets. That shit on some police shit too at the same time, you get what I'm saying? Like, niggas will do shit, like it's a difference from doing some street shit.
People in Chicago already knew his name long before the industry tried to brand him for the charts. When Von passed, it wasn't just a hit to hip-hop. It felt like OBlock lost its frontline commander, the one they believed could lift the block up and bring some real change. Losing Von wasn't just losing a star, it was losing hope for so many who saw him as proof that making it out was possible. That loss cut deep. But this is where the story takes a wild, twisted turn. NBA YoungBoy just dropped a new freestyle called Zero IQ, and this track is straight up disrespectful toward King Von's legacy. But Lul Tim, man, he didn't just co-sign it, he amplified it. He jumped on TikTok, posted a video of himself vibing to the track, spitting the exact bars that had everybody online losing it. Who popped that? Boy, I'm him. Who starts that? Boy, I'm him. Those weren't subtle shots or hidden messages. Lul Tim was bragging about the moment King Von lost his life, right out in the open for everyone to see. The confidence, or straight up audacity, this guy showed was wild, like he really thought he was untouchable. But what sent both the internet and the streets into meltdown mode was the timing. That video dropped on November 6th, 2025, the exact same day King Von passed, 5 years earlier. And just when people thought it couldn't get more eerie, it came out that Lul Tim's own grandfather had passed away on the same date, November 6th, 5 years apart. 2 deaths, same day, 5 years apart. When fans connected those dots, the internet exploded instantly. The comment sections were chaos, the blogs couldn't keep up, and everyone had something to say. And here's why this clip hit harder than any diss before it. Before this moment, most of the shots between these camps stayed inside the music, buried in metaphors and subliminals with just enough wiggle room for denial. But this was raw, blatant, and right in everyone's face. But Lul Tim tossed every bit of strategy straight out the window. He looked dead into the camera, rapped those same bars word for word, and made sure nobody could mistake who he was talking about.
And I know you did some street shit, right? And your name, you in the streets, like, your name rang or whatever. But you did some street shit, whatever, you claim, but the police was involved in that shit. But it's like, I don't like the way he go about it, like, how niggas be flexing and shit. Like, don't act like you did some shit and just got away, like, off the chain, like, off that. Like, bro, niggas ain't, like, it's some shit I can't even say. But it's like, I don't like how certain niggas,
This wasn't some shaky, quick phone clip either. Everything about it looked planned to the last detail. The audio was crisp, the lighting clean, and it looked like he was in a real studio setup. This wasn't random. This was crafted content made to stir outrage and grab attention fast. But OBlock's Muna Ike wasn't letting that slide. Not for a second. This guy's been one of the loudest voices standing for Von ever since his passing. And the moment that video dropped, he hit social media straight away. He called out Lul Tim directly, making sure the disrespect didn't go unanswered. Ike came in hot, accusing Lul Tim of using King Von's death as a pass to stay relevant in the spotlight. He even questioned why Tim suddenly started hanging with NBA YoungBoy after that whole situation went down, saying straight up, "I ain't never seen that man with YoungBoy before." That situation with Von happened. He using that like a face card to be around him to make them look a little tough. That line hit deep because it echoed what a lot of fans and people in the streets had already been whispering. And Ike didn't stop there. He broke down how Lul Tim's been moving ever since that night, dropping songs about it, performing with pride, acting like he's some kind of street legend. But according to Ike, things didn't go down the way Tim's been claiming. Ike said the heavy police presence that night changed everything, and that Tim's version of events didn't line up with what OBlock believes really happened. Then came the real heat. Ike started unpacking the story behind that night in Atlanta piece by piece. According to him and other OBlock voices, the whole thing wasn't nearly as simple as the internet made it seem. They've been saying Von wasn't even the one pressing the issue that night like the media portrayed it. They swear the whole narrative got flipped upside down to make Tim look like some kind of hero protecting his crew.
like on some easy shit, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bro, you got lucky, you did what you did, you defended you stood your ground, whatever. But it's like, it's just the way like how it be playing out now, like all that on stage and...
When in reality, it was way more complicated. In one interview, Ike even said, "Bro got lucky, really." That single quote hit like a thunderclap, because to him, this wasn't about bravery or fame. It was about how one chaotic moment got twisted, reshaped, and sold back to the world like a legend, while the truth still burns under the surface. It ain't like he was face to face with that man. His back was turned, whatever. He gotta stay humble about that type of thing, because the same way he did what he did, that could happen to him too. That one line had the internet shaking. It showed that this tension isn't just about disrespect. It's about how the streets really feel. People aren't just reacting to the words, they're reacting to the history behind them. The story's been twisted so many times, but let's crack open the real inside scoop. Because this whole beef runs way deeper than one confrontation. It all started the night King Von and his people pulled up on Quando Rondo outside that Atlanta hookah lounge. Von wasn't just famous for his music. His street name carried weight. Everyone knew he never backed down from anybody. But here's what most people outside the scene don't realize about Lul Tim. According to Muna, Ike, and others from OBlock, Tim wasn't known as a street figure before any of this went down. He was just one of Quando's friends who happened to be strapped that night. So when Von and his crew moved toward Quando, Tim reacted like a loyal homie, protecting his guy in the heat of the moment. The real problem came after that night. Instead of laying low or moving smart, Lul Tim started flipping the whole thing into an identity, a brand even. He started linking up with NBA YoungBoy, dropping tracks that kept referencing that night, letting the internet hype him up and riding that buzz like it was his golden ticket. He went from being quiet backup to playing the role of a certified tough guy, and the streets noticed. That's exactly what had OBlock calling him out. They said he turned a tragedy into a marketing plan. To them, this wasn't just about the loss of King Von. It was about how Tim handled himself afterward, how he carried that moment like a trophy instead of showing remorse. And that's what truly lit the fuse on this whole feud. For OBlock, it wasn't just about who pulled the trigger, it was about respect. They saw Tim take one of their own, then use that pain as a platform. And that's when this beef stopped being a moment in history and became a full-blown street saga that still hasn't cooled off.
Okay, you
tough,
like,
you just
yeah,
gangster.
gang, like, I don't be liking that gang, cause
Bro was gangster. See what I'm saying?
Folks was a gangster. This is what I'm
He
saying.
died a gangster.
Niggas
Like,
ain't
look at
never,
him, like,
niggas
he
ain't
fucked
doing no like with shit like that, bro. It's like, bro, you got lucky, really, bro. Like, it ain't like you was on no you ain't finna face this man face to face and just, you got lucky. His back was turned, whatever.
It was like Lul Tim started building a whole persona out of that one situation. And once NBA YoungBoy got thrown into the mix, everything turned 10 times messier, because that's when the politics got personal. YoungBoy and Lil Durk had already been locked in a Cold War for years, way before that night in Atlanta. So when Tim took Von's life, it became the perfect weapon for YoungBoy to jab at Durk and anyone connected to OBlock overnight. Lul Tim went from being an unknown name out of Savannah to rolling with YoungBoy like he was part of the inner circle. Suddenly, he wasn't just Quando Rondo's guy. He was on tour, in music videos, backstage, living the lifestyle like he'd been part of that team from day one. Ike even said it straight during his interview. "I seen Quando Rondo with him before. That's cool. But Tim now? That man using that situation as a face card to be around YoungBoy and make them look tough." That line hit hard because it called out exactly what everyone had been thinking. That Tim's new role in YoungBoy's circle looked more like strategy than friendship. It wasn't about loyalty anymore. It was about image, politics, and power moves. And once you mix those elements with deep street history, it's no surprise things started spiraling fast. Now it's true. Quando Rondo had been signed to YoungBoy's 4KT movement for years, so their connection always made sense. But Tim, he was just one of Quando's people from Savannah, a regular guy who ended up in the middle of something way bigger than him because of what happened that night in Atlanta. Then came that TikTok, and boom, everything exploded within hours. The clip racked up millions of views, and the comment section turned into a straight-up war zone. Fans loyal to King Von filled the comments with anger and heartbreak, calling out the blatant disrespect. Meanwhile, YoungBoy supporters rushed in defending Tim, saying he had every right to speak on what he lived through. But it wasn't just fans chiming in. OBlock members started posting their own responses across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Some dropped old clips of Von smiling, performing, laughing with the crew, moments that reminded everyone what was really lost that night. The internet turned into a battlefield of memories and pain, with every post adding more fuel to a fire that clearly wasn't dying anytime soon. Some OBlock members started posting messages that gave serious warning vibes. They didn't name Lul Tim directly, but everyone knew who they were aimed at. The loudest one came from a clip showing an OBlock member blasting King Von's music with the caption, "Long live Von, we ain't forgetting nothing." That message couldn't have been clearer. OBlock still sees this whole situation as unfinished business, no matter what any courtroom said. Meanwhile, over in YoungBoy's camp, things have been unusually quiet. YoungBoy hasn't fired back online, which is rare for him, but word is, he's made sure security around Lul Tim and the rest of the team is locked down tight. Usually when the internet starts heating up, YB drops a slick line or throws a little shade. But this time, he's silent, almost like he knows just how serious things have gotten. Now here's where it gets downright eerie. King Von lost his life on November 6th, 2020, around 2:22 a.m., right outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Fast forward 5 years later, and that same date still shakes the culture every time it comes around.
He gotta be humble, gang. You see what I'm saying? I feel like he ain't humble about that shit, like, cause the same way like you did what you did, that shit could happen to you too.
On November 6th, 2025, Lul Tim's grandfather passed away. And once that news hit, the internet went crazy. People started connecting dots left and right, especially Von's loyal fans. They began claiming this was proof that their guy reached out from beyond to balance the scales. Some even called it Von's revenge or cosmic justice. They pointed out how Tim dropped that disrespectful TikTok on the exact same day his grandfather passed, saying it was karma coming full circle. The timing alone had social media spinning out of control. Theories were flying. Videos were breaking it all down second by second, and fans flooded timelines with side-by-side posts linking the two events. Tim's supporters tried to calm it all down, saying people were stretching coincidences and turning random timing into wild conspiracies. But even they couldn't ignore how strange it looked, especially because Lul Tim usually moves super calculated online. Every post, every live, every move seems planned. So for him to drop that TikTok on such a heavy date had people seriously questioning if it was coincidence or something deeper. And then, just when the buzz started to settle, more info started leaking out. And that's when things got even more unsettling. People started noticing something deeper. They pointed out that Lul Tim's grandfather was the one who raised him when his parents weren't around. So losing him on the same exact date King Von passed had folks convinced there was some kind of spiritual balance happening, like karma showing up out of nowhere. The internet couldn't stop talking about it, but the Chicago streets, they took it even further. OBlock affiliates jumped online, dropping cryptic posts that felt like direct warnings aimed right at Tim. Some started sharing old clips of King Von with captions like, "We still here" and "Justice coming," making it clear they hadn't forgotten anything. And it wasn't just OBlock speaking up either. Other Chicago drill artists who had love for Von started voicing their frustration too. Even people connected to FBG Duck, who historically had serious beef with OBlock, showed respect for Von's memory and called out the disrespect coming from Tim's TikTok. That shocked a lot of fans because seeing both sides of Chicago's scene agree on anything is almost unheard of. But this moment had everybody feeling like the line had been crossed. Things got so heated that some venues started canceling NBA YoungBoy shows altogether. Promoters didn't want to risk the drama spilling into their events. Rumors started flying that OBlock members or other Chicago affiliates might use a concert as an opportunity to confront Tim if he pulled up with YoungBoy's crew. Nobody wanted a packed venue turning into a danger zone, so they shut things down before it could even get close to that. The reaction to Tim's TikTok was instant and explosive. OBlock members flooded social media with warning posts, slick disses, and messages that clearly had Tim's name written all over them without even saying it. The energy online felt like the streets were back on edge again, and fans could feel it. Under that one TikTok, the comment section turned into a battleground. Thousands of people arguing, defending, attacking, and dissecting every second of the clip. Some were demanding respect for Von's legacy, others saying Tim had the right to speak his truth. But one thing was clear: that single video reopened wounds the streets never really healed from. King Von supporters and YB fans been going at it non-stop. Every second, every post, every comment section turning into a war zone. It's like that TikTok was a spark tossed straight into gasoline, and the flames haven't died since. The tension online is hotter than it's been in years, but this isn't just digital drama anymore. This thing's leaking into the real world. Word from people close to the street says OBlock been actively trying to track down Lul Tim. They feel like he's been hiding behind NBA YoungBoy's security team, using that protection and fame as a shield instead of standing on his own. Folks tapped into the situation claim OBlock wants that one-on-one. No security, no cameras, no online talk, just man-to-man. Law enforcement's already on high alert. Atlanta police reportedly boosted patrols around the areas where YoungBoy and his people usually move, trying to stop anything from spiraling into another deadly night like the one when Von lost his life. Investigators been keeping tabs on both camps because even they can feel that tension rising in the air. And it's not just the streets watching. The music industry is watching too. Behind the scenes, label executives been holding quiet meetings, talking about liability, insurance, and safety risks. They're asking whether it's even worth keeping artists who stay tied to real-life beefs that could turn violent. Some insiders are saying that Lul Tim's TikTok might have been the moment things crossed the line completely. Once venues start backing out and insurance companies start panicking, that's when the business side steps away quick. Promoters don't want to risk shows turning into headlines, and investors don't want their names tied to potential chaos. It's a reminder that one social media post can now shake an entire industry. See, things used to be different, way different. Back in the day, if someone had a problem, it stayed off the internet. No phones, no posts, no likes or retweets. People handled things quietly, face to face, and the world didn't know about it unless it made the news. But now, everything plays out in front of millions. Now rappers are posting TikToks, rapping about violent moments, and then acting shocked when real life responds. Social media's turned beef into content, and the line between art and action keeps getting blurrier. Lul Tim could have played it smart, stayed low, made his money from being connected with Youngboy and kept his peace. He could have lived his life quiet and moved on, but instead he kept poking at a wound that never healed, turning an already painful story into a public spectacle. And now, that same situation looks like it's circling right back toward him, heavier than ever. Because one thing about OBlock, they don't let disrespect slide, especially not when it's tied to King Von's name. That name still carries deep loyalty, and every time someone crosses the line, the streets start buzzing again. The craziest part? This whole cycle doesn't seem like it'll ever really end. Von's death kicked off a chain reaction that's been running for 5 straight years. And every time things start to calm down, something new sets it all off again. One video, one lyric, one TikTok, and the whole culture goes right back into chaos. It's like the tension's always sitting right under the surface, just waiting for that one spark to set it all off again. But beyond all the drama and online chaos, this whole story shines a light on something way deeper. How drill culture and old street wars keep pulling young black men into situations that cost them their freedom, their peace, or even their lives. King Von was only 26 when his story ended. A young man with raw talent, charisma, and a path that could have changed everything. Lul Tim's still young too, and the sad truth is that both of them could have been out here building empires, raising families, traveling the world, and putting their city on the map in a positive way. Instead, they got caught in a cycle that started long before they even stepped into it. A cycle of loyalty, pride, and pain that's hard to escape once you're in. At the end of the day, when you strip away the headlines and the hype, this whole situation is just sad. King Von was a gifted artist, a storyteller who could have rewritten his whole future if things had gone differently. And Lul Tim, he made a split-second move that night to protect his friend, but now he's walking around with a target on his back that might never fade away. Meanwhile, OBlock figures like Muna Ike still feel that deep responsibility to stand up for their fallen brother, to honor Von no matter how much time passes. And that's why every year when November 6th comes around, it hits harder than before. Maybe the timing of everything, the TikTok, the loss, the eerie coincidences, is just random. Or maybe it's something deeper. I'll let you decide what you believe. But one thing's for sure, that one TikTok flipped the internet upside down and turned Lul Tim into one of the most talked about names in Chicago circles instantly. And OBlock, they're not the type to forgive or forget, especially when it comes to anything tied to King Von's name. This tension has been bubbling for 5 long years, and it's not slowing down. Every diss track, every live stream, every post, every single song keeps adding heat, pushing both sides further and further apart. The energy feels like it's standing on a razor's edge, and the question isn't if it blows up again, it's when. So now I'm asking you, do you think Lul Tim was wrong for posting that TikTok? Or was he just speaking his truth, no matter how ugly it looks from the outside? And what about that November 6th connection? Is it pure coincidence or something bigger playing out that none of us can fully explain? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you think. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your crew, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we drop more street-level updates. Stay tuned, because in this world, one move can change everything. See you on the next one.